In this case, the blackboard burst with notes, and the broadcast danced too. Seeing this, May's heart nearly leapt out. She grabbed her phone to stop it, but Shiyin was engrossed in the music. Eventually, they had no choice but to follow Shiyin out of the classroom, with Shiyin effortlessly controlling every electronic device until the song ended. But suddenly she froze, and out popped a disc from her belly, leaving everyone around dumbfounded. However, Shiyin was thrilled, as it's Stellar Labs' latest work testing AI human-like intelligence, and her dream is to contribute to Stellar. When Kainchiun found Shiyin was a robot, he felt slightly let down, implying the experiment might have failed. Then, May urged them to keep it secret for a turnaround, because this was her mother's labor of love. While they were chatting, Shiyin casually fixed Shiyin's glitch and realized she was quite different from other AI. She resembled an independent songbird, returning to class before school ended and, skipping bedtime, waited in the living room for her mom. The TV was playing her favorite childhood anime. When her mother came home, she told May that today's experiment was a huge success, enough to make the entire department scream. Mom said she'd take her daughter on a trip post-test. She saw her mom's hardships, plus the tech firm's hidden agendas. At a young age, being R&D had made many veterans envious. Mom was struggling at work, and this experiment was her only shot to prove herself, while Shiyin was busy analyzing the daytime surveillance footage. The next day, as she talked about it with May, she discovered that the footage had been switched by some crafty mastermind, a true suspense. However, May didn't really care about her wares, because after all, she felt they hadn't had such a chat in a long time. They found out from Shiyin that the surveillance footage from yesterday had been altered by her and other AI. Upon hearing this news, Shiyin was so excited that it seemed as if she had taken a powerful stimulant. The seamless cooperation between the AI was truly unbelievable. However, Shiyin was primarily concerned about whether May was happy. However, Shiyin's good buddy Ahu was more confused. She was pretty decent looking and excelled in everything, but she envied Shiyin for having something she loved, while she saw herself as just average in tech, even if Ahu felt lost in her own battles. Just then, Kainchiun burst in, as she had a competition the next day, and her training robot malfunctioned. When they arrived, their jaws dropped. Shiyin thought of a way to make May happy, and that was to create a hero saving the day story. Kainchiun's assistant was ready to help out, and seeing this, Ahu leapt at the chance to promote Kainchiun's judo club in the process. But before everyone could get excited, Kainchiun was easily taken down, which was simply disappointing. Just then, the teacher rushed in, phones poised for emergency action. They seemed to grasp the situation and ran to Shiyin. "Oh great, Mr. Xingsen. This feels like a roller coaster. Take me to the nurse's office." "Oops, guys. What a stupid blunder. But thank goodness this didn't blow up." Though Shiyin is independent, she has the AI emergency brake. Shiyin said it just needs temporary removal and can be reset before school ends. Once awakened, Shiyin asked May if she was happy, just like the first time, before continuing her quest for Prince Charming. In the end, she learned from Xiaolin that Ahu was actually the school's Prince Charming, so she excitedly dashed off to find Ahu, ready for a kiss, leaving all the girls stunned. Ahu's heart almost jumped out, furiously dragging Shiyin to find May, who was equally exasperated. However, this juicy gossip quickly reached Xiaolin. Everyone knew she was Ahu's ex-girlfriend. To this day, she still quietly cared about Ahu's every move. Soon, she found May and accused her of placing bizarre spells on Shiyin. May desperately defended herself to little avail. The conversation heated up, and Xiaolin, tears in her eyes, left to expose Shiyin's secrets. Seeing Xiaolin, May recalled her childhood when she couldn't explain clearly. So she took Xiaolin to find Ahu, determined to get to the bottom of this. Meanwhile, Ahu's mood lightened. It turned out she was used to showing off, but she didn't like being treated as a trophy. They arrived on the rooftop. Seeing Xiaolin, Ahu left, making the atmosphere intensely tense. At this moment, Shiyin began to sing softly, sparking a glimmer of hope, and memories slowly surfaced. What 80 points? We've been watching all along. We can't afford to miss anything. With Shiyin's help, they patched things up, but Xiaolin gained a new perspective on Shiyin, discussing the recent experiment outcomes, which made Shiyin the pride of. However, radicals relished seeing Shiyin's mother embarrassed, saying bigwigs would arrive at headquarters next week, and she'd take the blame if tests failed. The next day, Shiyin, dressed up fabulously, appeared in the gym, and Shiyin couldn't help but feel fluttery. She blushed, feeling awkward, as Shiyin believed only by dressing like a moon princess. Just then, kind Shiyin's assistant malfunctioned again and stated she would freak out without practice partners. With no other choice, Shiyin returned to the workshop for repairs, bringing Shiyin along, but Shiyin believed that helping those around you would naturally bring happiness. After they left, Xiaolin suddenly apologized to Shiyin, saying she would lend a hand next time, but the atmosphere was still gloomy. Due to the assistant's frequent malfunctions, they couldn't fix it anytime soon. Instead, they transmitted the data to Shiyin, leaving the rest to her. Unexpectedly, Shiyin's practice effectiveness was phenomenal, and she even sang during training, gradually guiding Kai and Shiyin's rhythm. Yet she felt shy around Shiyin, but their intense teamwork led her to victory in the championship. She found it really hard to accept the reality at first. Yeah, she didn't mess up in the finals, and all of this could be attributed to Shiyin's brilliance. To celebrate Kai and Shiyin's victory, they decided to go karaoke, but Shiyin couldn't leave school, which dampened the celebratory. Additionally, Shiyin's mother's experimental results were spectacular as expected. However, while they were off chasing after Clara, Xiaolin couldn't believe it. It was a good girl who made the suggestion, saying they just needed to bring the lab